This is the last one, yogis, together. Let's do one more together. Here we go. Inhaling, exhaling fully. And then just sit back, shake it out. Let the arms relax. Let the wrists unload. And just make those little rotations with your wrists if you can, just to untie the knots there. Shaking it out because your wrists are really quite loaded in that pose. Well, we are naturally going to move into downward dog now. And downward dog is, as we know, if we're fairly new to yoga, we may not know this, so I'll just say that you are in an inversion and your head is going to be lower than your heart. Now with that in mind, if anybody experiences any dizziness, the best thing to do is just to come back down onto all fours and relax. Have a sip of water and just take some nice deep breathing. It's not to say everybody feels that, but just wanting to mention that because you're going into an inversion and some people can experience a little bit of dizziness. If you do, just come down and rest. Now, I am going to take my socks off. You might want to do the same, you don't have to, but a great way just to feel the feet in this posture. So remember, it's a strong stretch. We're going to try something a little bit different. Rather than just remain static, we're going to move our spine in a figure of 8 while we're there, so that again we can explore a variation of the pose and rather than just stay static. And again, with that fluidity in mind, so we remind ourselves our spine are a movable piece of kit, not meant to be static, movable, okay? So with that in mind, let's play with our downward dog. So here we are. Again, I'm going to tuck the toes under, spread the weight evenly across my hands. Again, the brains of the fingers are said to be in the index finger. The brains in the toes are said to be in the big toe. So when you raise your hips, when your feet are anchored into the earth, really press the big toes and the index fingers, the brains of feet and hands into the earth. Here we go. We're going to inhale. Up we go. We'll keep our feet and our knees hip width apart if we can, yogis. Arms nice and straight if that's comfortable. Now, if we're tight in our hamstrings, maybe we want to just pad down one heel and then the other. We call it walking the dog, just easing into your first hamstring stretch. Arms, keep them strong. And switch on that nice deep breathing for me, yogis. Breathing either through nostrils or mouth. Okay, now we're going to play with this pose. We're going to keep our knees bent, and I want you to start to see if you can make a figure of 8 with your spine, as if you were drawing with your pelvis, your buttocks, your spine, a figure of 8. Keep the arms strong, feet are hip width apart. Just slowly start to realize or imagine the fluidity in the spine. Just a simple exploration here of what we can do in our poses rather than just keep them static. Breathe deep as if you're making a figure of 8 with your spine. Now reverse that. Just have a go. Don't worry if it looks a little silly. We're all having a go on our mat. Keep the knees soft. Visualize drawing a figure of 8 with your spine. Imagine the fluidity there. Nice, okay, have a little giggle, well done for trying, and then take a deep breath in, and start to carefully walk your feet towards your hands. We're going to come up, but before we do, we're going to hang out here. I'm going to stay here, profiling myself, my knees are bent, and before I come up, I'm just going to hang out here. Hold on to or turn at elbows if you can, let the crown of the head come down, and just allow yourself 5 deep breaths. Keep the knees soft, a little micro bend there. Working at softening here, hamstrings. Breathe into the stretch, yogis, as best you can. Allow the crown of the head to come down. We always have possibilities, and we're allowing ourselves to see the world from a different perspective, but possibly viewing its potential. As we look through the legs, we can view the world from another perspective and explore its potential. If you can, and if it's comfortable, take 2 more deep breaths here for me. Release your hands. Keep the knees soft and start to roll up vertebra by vertebra. We're going to unfurl now. That's it. Come up nice and slowly with soft knees, rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Now, when you stand, I know you want to fix your clothes. It's that temptation, isn't it? But if you can, just allow yourself to stand quietly with the feet hip width apart, ankles and toes facing forwards, turning the palms forwards like me. Your body is open and receptive to life. And we can move freely from strong roots. We're going to do that. We're simply going to sway from side to side as we move freely from strong and firm roots, our feet. Keep the toes soft and long, and just allow yourself to move freely, explore this different variation, side to side. Good. And all the while, switching on that deep breath work for me as you breathe in and out. And as you exhale, consciously send the energy downwards into your feet. Every time you breathe in and out, send the energy downwards. Good. Okay. Can you sway backwards and forwards gently? You'll naturally want to lift the toes off the floor, but keep them soft and long. Try not to claw your toes. And just sway backwards and forwards a little from firm roots. Fantastic. And then finally, let's draw circles. Nice and slowly. Easily moving from firm roots. Keep the breath relaxed. Bend the knees a little if you need to. And then just draw some circles with your pelvis in the opposite direction. This is a mindful Tadasana. Easily moving from those firm roots. Good. And then come to stillness. Relax the hands. Gaze softly ahead and take 3 deep breaths. I can easily move from firm roots. Send the energy downwards. Allow yourself to feel or imagine the power that can grow from a simple standing pose. Gaze softly ahead and take another deep breath in and out. Fantastic. And then relax the hands and just gently shake it out. Have some water yogis if you need to. Hydrate and stay hydrated. And then we'll move on. Okay, so we're going to try a little balance here. Again, just do as much or as little of this balance as you wish to. This pose gives us poise. It gives us focus, concentration. It builds stamina and strength and increases memory. Okay, so an awful lot there. And it's a simple tree pose. Let's start by taking the weight into the left leg and just resting the right foot on top of the left. Perhaps our hands on our hips to steady us. Again, we can easily move from firm roots. And the roots are all in that left foot. Imagine those roots sprouting out from the sole of the foot, anchoring down into the earth. Draw strength and energy from the earth here. And take 2 breaths if you can. If you start to wobble, simply come back to Tadasana. Take another breath here though if you can. And then, simply and gently, switching sides, consciously stacking the weight into the right leg, coming up onto the toes of the left foot, and if you can, just pressing left foot onto right, hands on the hips. And again, send that energy down, rooting down into that strong and steady right leg now. Don't forget to breathe. And then release, relax, shake it out, We're going to do that again, but move it up a notch now. So again, we stack the weight, we focus on the weight shifting into the left leg, and the right knee bends, and we bring the sole of the right foot just below the left knee, aiming to keep that right knee as open as you can. Bring the hands into the prayer position if you can now. Softly focus ahead. And again, feel the focus and the power of this gentle balance. Hold for as long as you comfortably can. And every exhale, send the energy downwards. Strong, steady, focused pose. Well done. And if you're wobbling today, don't worry, don't give yourself a hard time. Balances in their very nature are wibbly wobbly. So just release when you need to and switch sides. One side may feel, and very often does in our bodies, easier than the other. And just noting that, being aware of that, giving it your sensitive attention without judgment is a really kind way just to observe the differences in your own body. Stay here, again, for as many breaths as you can without straining. Breathe into the standing leg. Keep that bent knee nice and open to explore the opening in your hip as well. And when you're ready to release, do so carefully and shake it out. Well done, yogis, well done. And this is a very gentle practice, as I say. I'm going to be doing more floor work, but for now, let's just pause again, come back to Tadasana, and take 3 breaths. Easily able to move from those firm roots. Softly gazing ahead, relaxing the shoulders, and just being fully aware of your posture, your breathing, allowing yourself simply to stand and breathe. One more deep breath in and out. And relax. Nicely done, yogis. Well, we're coming down. We're going to now come straight down and just almost reverse what we've done. So we go back into the forward fold. So feet hip width apart, knees bent, holding on to alternate elbows if you can. Start to lower down gently. Keep the knees slightly bent just to protect this area below back. And allow the crown of the head to come towards the earth. Let's aim to take 5 deep breaths. When you're ready, just take your hands to the floor, bend the knees, and just slowly come back onto all fours. And we're going to go straight into downward dog again, so tuck the toes under. Again, take a moment to spread the weight evenly across the hands. And again, it's up to you how long you want to stay in the pose, perhaps up to 5 breaths, but any less is just as good. So, knees and feet apart. Up we go again, and we're going to explore that lovely movement again if we wish to. So with knees bent, let's start to draw figures of 8 if we wish to, and with the spine, the tailbone. Keeping the notion that our spines are movable pieces of kit, as if you're trying to draw a wide figure of 8, have a go. With the pelvis, with the spine, arms remain strong. Breath relaxed. Just have a go. And then, can you do that in the opposite direction now? Drawing a big figure of 8. Just exploring other alternatives to this pose. That's brilliant, okay. And then when you're ready, let's come down. We're going to sit back on the heels. And we're simply going to bring the hands to the heart centre. It's a moment to pause again for the breath. We can add an affirmation here if we wish to. So just take a moment. I openly accept all that life has to offer. I openly accept all that life has to offer. And enjoy 3 slow breaths. Just a moment to pause, to softly, intuitively draw your attention back to your breathing. And if you wish to, adding a positive affirmation. Open and receptive to all that life has to offer. Breathe deep. And gently release when you're ready. Now we're going to go into a nice child's pose. So if you've got a block or a cushion, we're going to grab that now. Cushion or pillows will do, yogis. Separate the knees slightly. You want the belly to feel soft and yielding here. And taking your block in front of you so that your forehead has something, whether it's cushions or pillows, but something definitely to rest on. And I'm going to slide the hands forwards and allow the chest and belly to come forwards. Rest in our forehead. Bend the elbows if you can, yogis, so it softens your shoulders and neck. And we're going to hang out here for a good 5 deep breaths. Here we go. Allow yourself just to soften and meet yourself here with kindness as you breathe. It's a nice moment just to communicate with the sweet self and also to just soften the belly, the spine. Breathe deep, yogis. 1 or 2 more deep breaths if you can. And slowly, I'm going to walk up now and just release. We're going to go into a nice, very nice pose now, which is a lovely twist, a really nice twist. So very gently, I want you to come onto your spines, and it may feel quite nice just for a moment to draw your knees in and just recognise the support from the earth. So the back has the support from the earth. And let's just rock a moment to soften that low back before we go into our twist. That's it, just softening, squeezing our knees in as well is great for our digestive health. And that may feel rather nice on the abdomen. Quietly just rocking and nurturing the low back. And now we're going to go into our twist. So if you're on a yoga mat, I want you to take your feet right to the edge of each side of your mat. It's quite a wide twist. And if you can, with your arms, we're going to bend them at the elbows and make these cactus-like sort of shapes. If you can't bend the arms, if the backs of the hands won't touch the floor, don't worry. Just simply bring the hands down so that they're slightly away from the body, not touching the body. So here or here is absolutely fine, whichever's more comfortable for you. And then we're going to breathe in. We're going to lower both of those knees down to the left, keeping the feet and knees wide apart.
Feeling that deep stretch here, possibly on the right thigh, and also around the back of the right hip, the right side of the spine. We're going to inhale, carefully bring the knees up, and exhale, take them over to the other side, the right, and drop them down. And we'll keep going with the breath. Inhaling to one side, and exhaling to the other. Doesn't matter if the knees don't touch down. Just want you to enjoy this lovely opening and stretching softly, but quite a deep stretch if I'm honest. Inhale, use your breath. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, back up. Exhale, over to the other side. And go at your pace, yogis. Listen to your spine. Let it guide you. Let your breath be soft and yielding. And just do 4 more on each side in your own time. Breathing in, breathing out. The pace you go at will be the right pace for your body today. Doesn't matter if the knees don't touch down. Just allow yourself to go into the twist as far as you comfortably can without straining. Perhaps noticing that one side feels much easier than the other. Good work. Let's do 1 more on each side together now. Are we ready? So we go over to one side. That's it. And then gently, lastly, over to the other side. Nicely done. We bring the knees back up. And then we're going to hug them in again. And drop. And breathe. Good, okay. I'm going to change it a little bit now. We're going to raise both legs. You can have the knees still bent, as if you're trying to push the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. Let's make 2 loose fists and untie those knots that may still be there in the wrists and ankles, in this playful, happy baby bear pose, joyful little pose. Do 10 of those in one direction with both wrists and both arms, and obviously ankles, and then in the opposite direction, up to 10. Coordinate it with your wrists if you can, and your ankle joints, just being aware of these areas. Untie the stiffness there. And then open and close the fingers 5 or 6 times. Spread the toes wide as well. Fantastic. Just become aware of those beautiful digits that we rely so heavily on. And then I want you to bend your knees. Bring them into the chest. Keep the knees wide. And if you can, either hold on to the instep, the inside of the feet, or perhaps just the toes, and rock gently. That's it. Be aware of the spine. Really nurturing, a bit of a balance here as well. Gazing up towards the ceiling, and just being aware of your hips, your spine. Take some deep breaths here. Fantastic. And then hug the knees in again. And rock. Fabulous. And we're now ready for Setu Bandhasana, which is our bridge pose, yogis. So let's take the feet down, back to the floor. Bring the roundness of the heels towards the roundness of the buttocks if you can. Open the toes, spread them wide, and then really anchor those feet down. And we're going to push the backs of the hands into the floor, arms up by our sides, and then one more thing to do, to tuck the chin in, so the chin is nice and long and in line with the spine. Now, how far you come up in bridge is entirely up to you, yogis. Please remember to keep the knees and feet nice and still. Try not to move the knees, and equally keep the head and neck as still as you can. Start to press the hands into the floor, the backs of the arms as well, and use that as you start to rise your hips towards the ceiling. So raising your hips rather toward the ceiling, lifting up as high as you can, Take it steady, take it slow. There is no rush. Chin doesn't move. And up we come. Breathe in deeply and evenly here through the nose. Opening the chest, keep the chin tucked in, raising up and opening, exploring your heart, your spine, your chest. Take as many deep breaths here as you can, up to 5 more if you can. Lovely opening. Feel the openness in the heart. Breathe into the heart center. Enjoy the lift, the stretch. Again, if you need to come down, start doing so very, very slowly now. But if comfortable, hold for 1 or maybe 2 more deep breaths, if that's comfortable. And then when you're ready, just start to lower down vertebra by vertebra. That's it, there's no rush. Come down really slowly, all the way down. And then hug those knees in. And just take some deep resting breaths now. Breathe love and light into the spine. So just take a couple of resting breaths here. Spine's worked hard for you there, so it's important to nurture, massage, and also just thank it for all it's enabled you to do. Okay, yogis. Now, we're going to roll over and come up because we've got a little bit of time left, which is great. So we're going to try the cow face pose. Now, what we'll start to do first is again sit on a block or a cushion. So I'm going to grab my cushion and just a little bit of padding underneath the buttocks help here. And first of all, let's remind ourselves this is going to help for the next pose. So very gently we come into what we call cobbler's pose. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And that's why sitting on a couple of pillows or cushions is just nice and really comfortable when you come into this. And it doesn't matter where the knees are. I want you to see if you can interlace the fingers around the feet and just start to make some little bounces, sitting tall. This is gentle, but many of us find we're very tight here in the groin or the inner thigh area. So this is very healing and very softening for those tight, what I call hot spots. So we're looking forwards, we're allowing the pelvic region to soften, the basin of the pelvis to get a deep stretch here. So if it's very uncomfortable, don't hold for too long, but we're going to see if we can hold for 5 slow breaths. Now, if you want to make this stronger, if you wish to, you can take your hands to the inside of your feet and imagine opening the pages of a book. Take them apart as you inhale, exhale, bring them together. Open the book as you breathe in, breathe out, close it. Keep sitting tall and just do that a few times. It does strengthen and really quite a strong stretch on the inner groin and thigh. Hold for a few seconds, release. Once more, opening and release. Now we're going to interlace the fingers, we're going to soften the elbows and just bring the head as far down as you can. Doesn't matter if it's not very far. And allow yourself to go into yourself here. Allow yourself just to soften a little bit again of communication with the sweet self. And enjoy 3 slow breaths. Relax the head, coming forwards. Allowing yourself just to enfold. Breathe deep into the stretch. Relax the shoulders. And there's a nice affirmation as we do this as well. We can say these words. I go deep within and find all that I need. I go deep within and find all that I need. See if it's possible to hold for another deep breath in and out, yogis. Go deep within, find all that you need. When you're ready, raising the head gently, release the hands, take them underneath the knees and just very gently and slowly bring them in. And rest your head there for a moment. Going deep within and finding all that we need. Well done. Nicely done, yogis. Let's relax the legs. Let's sit back a little and just shake it out. Zigzag the feet in and out. Give them a little shake. Well done. Okay, we're going to move on, and mindful of time, this will probably be the last pose before we go into relaxation. We've got a good few minutes, so again, grab some water, and if you're a little bit tired, remember you can always skip a pose. So I'm going to sit again on my cushion, and I'm going to take my left leg underneath my right, bending my left knee, which means my right leg, which is slightly bent, comes over and across my left leg. And this is known as the cow face pose. It's said to resemble the horns of the Indian cow. Now it is strong, I'm not going to deny that. Very often this is again another pose that touches those tight spots, particularly the outer knee and the hip area. And you may be feeling that now in the outer right or left knee and outer right and left hip. And that's fine, that's where we're supposed to feel the stretch. But we're going to add the arms to this and hopefully work those tight spots in between the shoulder blades. So we're going to take the right arm up, take it behind us, and take the left arm behind us as well, so the two are touching. Doesn't matter if the fingers aren't touching. Can you see I've made a diagonal stretch from right elbow to left elbow? And I want to keep those elbows open, particularly this right one, the top elbow. Try and maintain it nice and tall. I'm looking forwards, keeping the chest open. And again, this is a really tough one, but it's great to challenge ourselves with different things and keep it fresh and varied. So again, let's look forwards and slowly take 4 breaths if we can, drawing strength from our center, our belly, but resting at our center. So breathe deep from your belly, draw as much strength there as you need to, and rest there quietly as you breathe. For those that want to go a little deeper, you can slowly bring the forehead towards the knee and hold that. Slowly inhale, come back up, release the arms, and just roll the shoulders firstly back and forwards. Well done, that's not an easy pose. And now let's release the legs carefully. First that right leg, and then slowly the left. And again, give them a shake. And we'll repeat that on the other side. So, right leg is bent, goes underneath the left. Bring the left leg across if you can. And again, just make sure you're sitting tall, you're quite comfy. Take a moment to adjust and feel the sensations on this side of the body. And then we're going to raise the left arm, then that top elbow. Take the right arm behind, palms together, or fingers together if they can, but don't force that. Perhaps pulling on what you're wearing to give yourself a little bit of tension tamer there, just to pull. And keep the elbows nice and open. Remind yourself this is a diagonal stretch across the torso, so sensations may be quite different there. Now I find this side quite challenging, maybe you do too, so just take another 3 slow breaths. Looking up, but then if you wish to, bring the forehead towards the knee for a deeper stretch. Come up slowly, take another deep breath in as you stretch, but carefully release when you need to. Well done.
Roll the shoulders back, relax them, and forwards. You've done a deep stretch there. Carefully, let's straighten and stretch the left leg firstly, then gently stretch the right leg and shake the legs out, bring them together. Well done, yogis, that was excellent. And the nice thing about that is it opens so many joints in the body, the shoulders, the elbows, the knees and the hips, and it's challenging, so excellent effort, well done for trying. Okay, well, our last pose is before lying down, is just going to be just to stretch out all the muscles in the body, all the limbs, and that's going to be what we call our sitting forward bend. And this is a nice quietening pose to finish with. So underneath here, our hamstrings get awfully tight and stubborn if, again, you're doing more sitting, and most of us are. Possibly if you're doing a job as well, where you have to sit and be online a lot, the hamstrings unfortunately suffer. So with that in mind, it's now time to take the attention to all of the back body and just fold forwards in a very receptive, gentle way. So we're going to sit tall. I would recommend on a cushion again. Inhale, raise the arms. Have the intention of lengthening upwards towards the sky. Bring the legs together and flex the toes towards you. And then as you exhale, slowly, slowly hinging forwards from the hips. And when you get to the legs, it really doesn't matter what you're holding on to, whether it's the shins or ankles or feet, but do make sure those hands are making contact with your legs. I would recommend bending the elbows to soften the shoulders and neck, and then softly, softly folding forwards. And we're going to hold this for 4 deep breaths, maybe even 5 if you can. So, relax the head and neck. Think about the crown of the head, yogis, coming forwards, meeting the feet. You want to lengthen the crown of the head and spine forwards, hinging forwards from those hips. Nice, deep, even breath. Soften the shoulders, close the eyes if you wish to, and focus on the stretch in the hamstrings, the spine, in fact the whole body. And our affirmation, if we'd like to, is I easily walk forwards in life. I easily walk forwards in life. Easily softening down, easily taking steps forwards. And just softening into the pose as best you can. Easily moving forwards. Just breathing and as best you can folding forwards from your hips. Now when you're ready, we're going to take a deep breath in and raise the arms. And we're going to use that exhale to take the hands behind us and once more lean back into straight arms. And give yourself a moment here just to be quiet and still. Take a moment to just be grateful, appreciative of all your body's been able to do today. A heartfelt thanks as you breathe in, breathe out. Just an acknowledgement that we've come to the end of the practice. We're now going to lie down in relaxation. Now, the relaxation can be done sitting or lying down. I would personally say it's probably more beneficial to lie down. I'm going to remain seated so that I can read this out to you. And it's a body scan, and it really makes us appreciate each part of the body, but with a positive affirmation as well. So join me now in the last 5 minutes. Put some warm socks on if you need to, grab your blankets. If you're sitting, again, make sure you're warm and comfortable for the next 5 minutes. So, lying down or sitting, whichever you prefer in this moment, grab your socks, pop them on, make sure you're warm. If you've got a blanket or fleece nearby, then by all means grab that. It's important that you're warm and comfortable so that you can truly relax. So give yourselves a couple of minutes, or just take a moment here just to get really comfortable. Now this body scan is very short because we've only got 5 minutes, but it can be used to, take it longer. You can lie down for longer. You could stay here for as long as you like, really. And it's about just bringing ourselves to stillness, particularly if you've got an agitated mind-body. And it's just a way of bringing ourselves to complete stillness for a few minutes to recharge and nourish the body. So, I want you to move through the places that I mentioned with a steady focus and just listen to my voice, okay? You can say the phrases out loud or inwardly to yourself. Let's start. Closing the eyes. Even if you're sitting, lying down, gently close the eyes now. Take a deep breath in and a deep releasing breath out. My whole body is still. I'm occupying my whole body. My hands are still. There is nothing to do. My feet are still. There is nowhere to go. My jaw is relaxing. There is nothing to tense against. My face is softening. There is nothing I need to express. My throat is soft. There is nothing to say. My spine is moving with my breath. I am fluid. My brain is still. There is no reaction needed. My breath is softening. I feel peace. My whole body is still. I can let go. Allow yourself to be at ease with your sweet self. Allow yourself to experience the sensations just as they already are in this moment. Observe, but let go of evaluation or comment, analysis or comparison. Just simply allow yourself to be in this moment. And now let's take 2 more deep breaths, allowing ourselves to be quiet and still just a little longer. And when you're ready, start to become aware once more of your fingers and toes. Give them a gentle, loving, affectionate wiggle and stretch into your fingers and toes. And if you're lying down, beginning to stretch the arms overhead, doing the same if you're sitting, beginning to move into the body now, stretching and yawning in any way that feels good for you. And slowly and gently waking up now. Taking a deep breath in when you're ready, gently opening the eyes and coming back. Welcome back. Come up to sitting if you're lying down and join me in closing the practice. So when you're ready, take a deep breath in, grab all that lovely energy, bring it down into the heart center. Take a moment to wish yourselves well. Remember, yogis, if we don't look after our bodies, where else are we going to live? Om Shanti Peace.